It's time for one of the most significant fights of the year. It's time for two of boxing's biggest stars, unbeaten, in their prime, coming together to give fight fans what they want. And that's a mega fight. Not for titles, not for a belt, but for legacy. And as they both proclaim to become this generation's new face of boxing. This fight's going down Saturday, T-Mobile Arena, and we're expecting capacity, a sellout. Closed circuit venue for the event, MGM Grand Garden Arena. You can get at AXS.com to get your tickets. Let's talk about the fighters. We'll start with Gervonta Tank Davis. Young man in his box office. Unbeaten record. He's broken gate records at some of the biggest arenas, some of the biggest cities around the country. He's one of boxing's most vicious punchers. His 93% knockout percentage, one of the best in boxing. Also, one of the best amongst current world champions. 3-division, multi-world champion, 28-0. 26 of his wins have come by knockout. His opponent, King Ryan Garcia. This young man's got blistering hand speed. Got one of the most deadliest left hooks in the sport of boxing. He's won 6 of his last 7 fights by stoppage. He has only gone the distance once in a 12-round fight. He's also unbeaten. 23-0. 19 of his wins have come by knockout. Saturday is the date, April 22nd, here in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. It's going to be produced by the destination for the best in boxing, Showtime pay-per-view. And again, the event is brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions, being promoted by GTD Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Golden Boy Promotions. Let me introduce one of the promoters of the fight. He is the president of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. It's happening, folks. Make no mistake about it. This is a super fight. One of the biggest fights that can be made in boxing. The best fight of 2023. It's just not often in today's game we see 2 young fighters, both undefeated, both in their prime, step in the ring together. Now, I'm a matchmaker first, and we always hear about styles make fights, and it's probably overused. But in this case, with Tank and Ryan, it's never been more true. Oscar, I've heard you say quite a bit in interviews also about the styles of these 2 fighters. This fight will be an instant classic, an all-out war like Hagler versus Hearns. And the good thing is, in Tank Davis, we have Hagler. Thank you very much.
Coming to the podium now is a man who will give you more details, obviously, about the fight, all the fights that will come your way on Showtime pay-per-view, certainly the programming surrounding the televised pay-per-view portion of the evening. He is the president of Showtime Sports, Stephen Espinoza.
Thank you, Brian. All of us at Showtime are thrilled to be bringing you this fight in collaboration with DAZN Pay-Per-View. We're proud to once again be delivering the strongest schedule in the sport. Showtime has delivered 14 marquee events in just the first 6 months of the year, and this is our 9th live boxing event in the last 11 weeks. It's one of the hottest runs in the history of Showtime boxing. And this Saturday, we have one of the hottest fights of the year. Tank and Ryan, 2 fighters with different personalities, different fan bases, very different styles in the ring. A battle of the 2 most popular fighters in the U.S. both huge draws, both of them coming off very impressive performances. Tank against title holder Hector Garcia, winning by TKO, and of course Ryan last fought in July against former title holder Javier Fortuna. This will be Tank's 14th appearance on Showtime and his 6th straight fight on Showtime pay-per-view. And of course, we welcome Ryan to his first appearance on Showtime pay-per-view. Tank is a 5-time champion, 3 different weight classes. He sold out venues in LA, Atlanta, Baltimore, Brooklyn, and Washington, D.C. And in those fights, 3 of his last 6 have been one-punch KOs. 18 of the last 19 opponents have been stopped. I'll say that again. Tank has stopped 18 of his last 19 opponents. And before you ask about the level of his competition, last 13 opponents, the record combined, 318 wins, 12 losses. Ryan, of course, a very worthy challenger here. 23-0, 19 KOs, probably the fastest hands in boxing. Everyone talks about his social media following, but that's not really the important thing. Don't get it wrong. Just because he's got a big social media following doesn't mean he's not one of the most talented boxers in the sport, because he clearly is. And everyone talks about his speed, but that's not the only thing. He has knockouts in 6 of his last 7 fights, including over Javier Fortuna this past July. Ryan's 2 biggest wins, Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna, have come against left-handers. And Tank is a left-hander. So we've got a great matchup this Saturday. As Brian said, it's special start time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tank vs. Ryan is supported by the Emmy-winning All Access, 2 episodes, over 5 million views on YouTube alone at this point. And of course, we will be producing our Emmy Award-winning epilogue as well. Showtime has a long history, nearly 40 years of the biggest, most memorable, most historic, most important fights. From Hagler Hearns to Tyson to Holyfield to Chavez, Corrales Castillo, and of course the biggest pay-per-view events in history. Lewis Tyson, Mayweather Canelo, Mayweather Pacquiao, Mayweather McGregor. The biggest pay-per-view events in boxing history have been on Showtime pay-per-view. Our resume and our track record is unrivaled. And I've been fortunate to be part of many of those events, those historic, memorable, record-breaking events. And at this point, I'm convinced when all is said and done, this event will go down on that list. It's that big. Don't miss it.
The thing that's different about a bourbon vacation home.
Thanks, Stephen.
Have the whole place.
Next to the podium, Boxing Hall of Famer. He's the president, CEO, Golden Boy Promotions. He's the Golden Boy himself, Mr. Oscar de la Hoya.
Thank you to the media for being here. I truly believe that the winner of this fight will be the new king of the sport, and I'm happy that you're all here to see it. As someone who spent most of his early life in the ring, I know firsthand what it takes to compete at the highest level, and this is the highest level. I look at Ryan, and I know he's ready. I look at Ryan's team, and they know he's ready. I look at Tank, and he looks ready. But when I look at Tank's team's actions throughout the whole promotion, I am left to wonder, do they really think this guy is ready? Cap weights and rehydration clauses, late afternoon weigh-ins, all of these small petty requirements points to a team that looks to protect their fighter. And why would they protect their fighter unless they don't think maybe he's not ready for this moment? I really believe that Tank's team is worried.
You probably know Vistaprint for business days, but did you know we also print that, and that, and that too? Never forget about that, or that either. New customers get 25% off their first order at Vistaprint.com.
can't wait. Say, I woke up this morning on a spaceship. That's just Jalen left his toys in the bed once again.
A lot of people don't know this, but if you have the YouTube app on your phone, you could be using it to make up to $10,000 a month, thanks to a new loophole that exists in the YouTube algorithm. This loophole actually allows you to make money from other people's videos, aka the videos that have already been uploaded to YouTube for you. This means that you can make YouTuber money without ever having to become a YouTuber, meaning without ever having to make your own videos or start your own